Good afternoon, good morning, good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. This is Dan Anderson, being very, very pleased to be here on this Global Associate Meeting. We're doing this over the Easter holiday, and as we had some people saying, well, maybe we should cancel it or maybe we shouldn't do it. But I always feel that this is the pulse beat and the heartbeat of our business. And for 6 years now almost, we've run this webinar with maybe 2 exceptions, something like that. So Easter should be no different. So from the UK, me here running this together this week, but I'm going to hand over to me here very, very shortly and let him take it all forward. But overall, the business is in extraordinarily good shape. We have new recognition and new positions coming through, and that's always indicative of the sales and the momentum that we have in the business, and that for me is absolutely fantastic. But I'm speaking on sort of a high still from my recent trip to Lahore, where we did a seminar, and I did arrive as a bit of a surprise guest for the people, and it was just absolutely terrific. I've not been in Pakistan for many years, and this was the first time for a long time, and they just made me feel so welcome, and they just were so appreciative, and I have to say that the Pakistani leadership team that we have is probably one of the very, very best that we have in the entire business. So very, very pleased to come back from that, and it's kind of part of the wider landscape. I was saying earlier on the Chinese call, where we had a great a group of people on it, that the business is in very, very good shape now, because we're working on our processes, and we're working on our management, and we're working on our procedures, we're working on our compliance, and we're working on all of our product sets, and we're working on some very, very big projects that you'll be shared about over the next few weeks. What we're also seeing is some new people coming through. So Yalin Shang is a part of our Chinese speaking community, a new director, and as you can see, she's got her heart in Leo. If you look at her picture, there's a little bit of a Leo heart going on, and it's kind of part of this landscape where our members feel that they're part of the Leo family, where we are connecting people from all over the world across and despite any borders and barriers between people. Our youngest, possibly our youngest director is on the screen now, Jahan Zeb Rashid. I met him in Lahore as well, and very, very positive guy, absolutely fantastic achievement of him, and he's part of a group, and yes, he works with his brother as well, but he is just one of these people that, like we always say, he's one of these people that when he walks into the room, the light goes up a little bit. Very positive, very constructive. Notwithstanding that he's working in very, very tough markets, but building an international and global business with Leo, and just very, very proud from my side to be giving him the recognition that he so deserves, because he's a leader to look out for, and it'll be extraordinary to see what this young man turns into over the next few years. And if you look at the mentors that he has in the business, he has very, very big shoes to fill. But I am birds of a feather flock together, and leadership comes together, and it would be very interesting to see what our Pakistani business does on a global level now as the next challenge going forward. But the business is in very good shape, and what we're also seeing is that at the same time that the digital markets across the board are being hit quite hard, but our business is in full momentum, and part of that is the great positive spirit, and we're really, really pleased to be taking people to the Leader Summit in the UK. This has gone and done the rounds a little bit, because we thought that we were going to do this in the south of France, but then we sort of looked at some of the visa issues and what have you, and as a hosting company in the UK, we're much better placed to get people to come into the UK, and this has really grabbed the markets by storm as well. People are very excited by this, because they understand that this is a trip of a lifetime, really, where we can VIP people in the headquarters home country, if you like, and so that means London, it means Stonehenge, it means some of the most visually impressive palaces and castles in the land, some of the history that we will be able to share with the people, as well as sharing with the people the UK head office. So we're doing a lot of activities, and I've seen some of the stuff, and you will kick yourself if you could have qualified for this and didn't. We were doing this to the end of March, but how shall I say, we wanted more people to get the benefit of this, so we've extended this now till the 30th of April. Now, that doesn't mean that you should sit and wait until the last week. That means that you should work now on getting this done, because you have 4 weeks. And if you can do it, please qualify, or you will regret it, because we will look after you in the UK in a way that it's hard to get across initially here, but there'll be welcome gifts. We'll meet you at the airports. We'll VIP drive you to your hotels. There'll be you'll be treated like kings and queens in the UK, because that is what you are to us. The Leader Summit in the UK, we will see when the date is, but if I remind you that you have to qualify, you have to recruit a new person between the 17th of November and the 30th of April, and get that person by the 30th of April to associate. Now, this means that if you have to start from scratch, you have to really roll your sleeves up and go to work. But we have seen associates break incredibly quickly. So we know that this is possible to do from anywhere. And we've got people qualified from the Philippines, from Pakistan, from China, from just about every one of our major markets. We've got qualifiers already. Seats will be somewhat limited. I haven't seen the final hard cap on numbers, but it's just one of those things. Get it done would be my advice to you. Now, if we go forward with the presentation on the next slide, which is where I'll just wrap up here and then allow me here to take us forward on the DMS update. But just to remind you, and this is something that we spoke about for the last couple of GAMs, the Director's Program is now fully terms and conditioned. The processes are in place. We know how to do this. It's all been structured in, and this is part of what we want to be able to do with our directors, which is to work with them. And it's for the working directors. This is not a passive income for life thing, as it has been misrepresented by some markets, and I know that the salespeople often get very enthusiastic and carried away, but this is for the working directors in our program. These are people who are incurring costs, and this is our way to put some money back in their pocket and fund their business expansion and their business development, so that they can not have to concentrate on putting petrol in their car, but they can get on and build their business. But it's very, very much for directors who are in good standing. There is a discretionary element to this as well, so that if you are working 2 or 3 different programs, don't be surprised if you don't qualify for the Leo Director Program, because this is for our leaders and our loyal leaders and our hard-working leaders, as a way for us to support them. And that's all I will say about that. So me here, are you ready to talk to people about DMS?
Yes, here I am, Dan. Thanks for that.
All right. How is the wider crypto landscape out there now?
With the exception of Leo coin, which has been bucking all global trends and holding a stable price, come what may, the wider crypto landscape has been through a bit of a massacre in March or so, with prices of Bitcoin, which started the month strongly over $11,000, now floating around $6,900, battling to stay at $7,000. So there's been some real falls in some of the bigger coins this month. Ethereum as well has fallen a lot, and so it's been a tough month for the holders in these markets.
I was speaking to Liaquat about Bitcoin when I was over in Pakistan, and one of the things that he said that really sort of struck a chord with me is that he reckons that Bitcoin might even go down to 5,000. And you remember, this is something that I said 2 or 3 months ago, and that's when the whales will come in, and that's when the big investment will shoot the price up again. Now, there's no guarantees, and we're not sort of financial people, but how do you feel about that as a scenario?
Well, I've always been convinced that there's big money waiting around with Bitcoin that makes a lot of short-term profit and short-term gains on it. And when it starts to see a bit of a dip, it holds back and lets the dip carry on for a little while, and then jumps right in and sweeps everything up as quickly as it can, and then we're on to another run. This time, almost every year, this sort of quarter, the Bitcoin price has fallen significantly. It's just what happens this time of year, it seems. There's sort of Chinese New Year, there's recovery from Christmas, there's all sorts of reasons for people to be needing their money, not buying digital currencies. And then we sort of see summer hits, and then the bull runs come back, the whales come back, and people start to buy again.
Yeah. And of course, the old coins and some of the things that we're mining in the DMS service are also part of that landscape.
Yeah, again, with the exception of Leo coin, it seems that when Bitcoin goes down, everyone seems to go down. When Bitcoin goes up, people go up at the same time as well. Now, there are exceptions to that rule, but yeah, certainly some of the altcoins we've been mining are worth less than they were earlier in the month, obviously. Bitcoin's crashed $4,000. That's going to have an impact across the entire space. So it's been a tricky month and a tough month. But actually, as people start to see their DMS rewards hit in, I'm fairly happy that we're able to stay within our estimates. I'm very happy that we're able to do something in such a challenging month.
Yeah, fair enough. So listen, I'm going to love you and leave you because I've got a meeting to go to here. And so thanks for taking the call, and happy Easter to you and to all.
Oh, yeah, happy Easter. And it's great to see so many people on the call, given that it is the Easter holiday. So Mihir Magudia here, calling from St Albans, actually. I've recently moved house, and I'm currently with my family because today in the UK it's a national holiday, and it's been a national holiday for the last 4 days. So those of us here have had a lovely long weekend. So loads to talk about. The digital market service. We've got some cracking events coming up this weekend, the following weekend, the weekend after that. We're all around the world this month in the run up to Mauritius. Really are taking our business forward. Really are building everywhere we can in the world. Let's see who we've got here on the call, shall we? Gosh, we've got a very impressive. Oh, there's Rachel, and there's a strong Pakistani contingent. Obviously, not celebrating Easter, I know, but lovely to have you here. Oh, there's Robin from Trinidad. Oh, there's a Swedish. The Swedes and the Finns have arrived today. That's good to see. No, Mohammed, Nabil, Nico. Oh, great. So yeah, we've got a cracking audience on our call today. Some of our most exciting and passionate leaders. Really happy to see you all here. I'm on a bit of a high, really, because I've just come back from a bit of a killer trip I had in the last 10, 11 days or so. It's Monday today, but I got back home last Monday, and the week before that, I think I took something like 10 different flights. I went one weekend to Morocco and spoke to a big event in Oujda, which is on the border of Algeria. They were able to do about, I think, 12 or 1,300 people was the final count. And this is the team that sits under a man called Yusuf and a man called Mr. Mimoun in Morocco. And ultimately that goes up into Veronique from France, you'll know, and then up into Magnus from Sweden, who we all know and love. And it was really exciting to be out there in Oujda, which is just a couple of kilometers from the border of Algeria. Not a place I ever thought in my life I'd get to visit. Not a place, honestly, I'd heard of before one of the Moroccan leaders came to visit us. Mr. Mimoun came to visit us in the UK office. But it was a real privilege to be there. And it was really exciting to be helping and seeing new people come into our business. I had a similar but different experience the following week in Manila, where the wonderful Rachel David and Eric were so kind to host me visiting their city, speaking at what they created a crypto expo that I spoke to. And again, a real passion for Leo, a real passion for the digital market service, and a real passion for just changing lives and doing new things. And it was a really wonderful place to be. I was only able to be there for about a day and a bit, but I still got to see a few things. I still got to experience some local food, and it was an absolute privilege and pleasure to be there and to talk to so many people who are so excited about Leo and what we're doing. Meanwhile, Dan's been in Pakistan. I think he surprised them all with an impromptu visit. Thanks very much, Mohammed Salim, for saying you missed me at the Pakistani event. I think from what I've heard from Dan, it was an incredible experience and he was delighted to be there. And yeah, I'm sorry to have missed it too, but perhaps next time. But I was in Manila at the time with Rach. But anyway, what we have now in our business, what we've had almost since October, is this new wave of this digital market service, this new passion for Leo. We've always had a great plan, we've always had a great company, and we've always had great products. But now we really have something special, and that's something that I'm so proud of, and it's working and working and working. Now, the rewards for March should be hitting your back office today. Some of you will have them already and they'll be on their way to your wallets. If there's any delay at all, that's nothing to worry about. That's no concern. It's just that there's been 4 days of national holiday in the UK, which started on Thursday night and doesn't finish until tomorrow morning. So there may be some delays. All of the rewards have been allocated and they're all on their way. This month, sorry, I say this month, it's now April. At the end of March, we posted a reward of 0.0275 Bitcoins, which at the time, and I think still even now, is about £140. Now, when you consider what I talked about in the crypto market, when you consider what's happened to Bitcoin in the last month, we are very, very pleased with that reward. Every single Bitcoin that we bought in March was worth less at the end of the month than it was when we bought it. It was an incredibly challenging month for trading, for mining, for doing all sorts of things. But the fact that we were able to be so comfortably within our estimate, so comfortably with a strong number, we're very, very pleased at. And if I can do that every single month for 12 months, I hope you'll all agree with me that it's a solid product and a solid reward, and we're very, very happy with what that's achieved. Who knows what will happen in April? Bitcoin's showing some signs of recovery. Ethereum showing some signs of recovery. Leo coins obviously strong and stable as ever. And we think things should start to pick up. But what's really cool is that every single month we've had the DMS and every single month we've paid out the rewards on it, the number of Bitcoins that you're getting has kind of been the same. I think, I don't know the exact number off the top of my head, I think last month it was like 0.03 Bitcoin. This month it was 0.0275. Last month it was, I think, 0.3 Ethereum. And this month it was 0.45 or 47 Ethereum. So the actual crypto assets we're holding that end of the deal up. We're actually getting a good number of Bitcoin. We're getting a good number of Ethereum. And we're paying out those rewards. The fact that the market took a turn in March, well, you know, things go up, things go down. And if it had gone the other way, let me tell you, none of you would be unsatisfied with that. So we're very, very pleased with the DMS rewards. We're delighted that in probably the toughest market we could have had, where the price of Bitcoin was going down almost every single day, we were able to give a very, very, very good reward on the product. And we hope and expect to be able to continue that every month for the rest of these contracts, even in the toughest markets. So very, very pleased about that. And that's absolutely the focus for the business. That's absolutely what you should all be focusing on and pushing. What I want to mention again today, though, is the event we have coming up this Saturday in Istanbul. If you haven't registered yet, if you're not planning on coming, I don't know what's wrong with you. You should be there. It's going to be an incredible event. I'm there, Dan's there, Andy Hansen is there, and I hope to see as many of you there as possible. Istanbul is one of the most beautiful cities in the world. It's got some of the most incredible sights in the world. If you're coming, I strongly recommend that you take a couple of extra days and look around the city, experience Istanbul. It really is one of the great centers of global history, one of the cities where so many important things have happened in its, I don't know, it's at least 3,000 years old, a settlement on that site, and there's so much to see and so much to experience, not just the incredible Leo event that we'll be holding. At that event, we're giving all the latest updates. You'll be hearing from me about the digital market service and Dan. I know it says tickets are sold out on that, but there are still some you can get. Don't delay. Get on the back office. Get the tickets right now before they do eventually sell out. I think we've just released a few more in the last couple of days, so there may be a couple of days of tickets left. But get the tickets, and be there. I don't know how much it costs to go, but it's a very, very cheap event. I think it's a £20 fee or something, so it's basically free. All you need to do is buy that very, very reasonable ticket and get yourself to Istanbul and experience our momentum event. These momentum events are part of a global plan of events to help build your businesses, to help put ourselves in countries all around the world, so that wherever you've got people, wherever you want to build, we're not far away. We're holding momentum events. You can get your people there. So the first one is Istanbul this weekend. After that, on the 20th of April to the 22nd, we're in China. Now that event, I think, has completely sold out. We have something like 1,100 members joining us on that cruise ship to do this next event. So it's going to be a massive event in our Asia Pacific market. If you are there or you have downlines going, then they're going to have an incredible time, and we're really excited about that. If you're in Africa, then the Ivory Coast and Cameroon are the places to be in May. Again, incredibly cheap tickets. They're just designed to make sure people commit and come. So get to the Ivory Coast if you've got a market there. Our French-speaking team will obviously be there. I know lots and lots. I know there's even a couple of Pakistanis who have some downlines there. I've met some UK members who have a couple of people in Ivory Coast and in Cameroon, which is where Dan and Andy will be the next day. So we are all around the world building and building and building the Leo business. We are holding events everywhere we can to help all of you build your markets. Wherever you've got people, you can get them somewhere to Leo. If you can't go see them yourself, send them to one of our events. We are building the momentum events around the world, and I can't wait to see as many of you as possible there. Mauritius. I hope you're getting excited about Mauritius. It's what? It's the 2nd of April today. I think I'm flying to Mauritius on the 4th or the 5th of May. So a month and a couple of days. It's going to be absolutely incredible. I'm really excited about Mauritius. There's so much to do, so much fun to be had, so much partying to do, great conferences, great meetings, all the things you've come to expect from the best ever Leo events that we could ever hold. If you want to know about dress codes, you want to know about the agenda, you want to know what you're going to be doing every single day, then go to the website. I will say that at this event, there are daily themes of what to wear on each day. I'll be playing with it. Other members will be playing with it. Some of our corporate staff will be participating. There's obviously no pressure for anyone to wear anything they don't want to wear. But, you know, it's fun things like floral clothes and all white, all that sort of nonsense stuff. But if you do check the website, you can see some of the clothes you might like to pack to participate on the day. Again, as I say, absolutely no reason to do it if you can't be bothered or you don't fancy that sort of thing. But do get involved. It's going to be an incredible 7-8 days there, and I cannot wait to see so many Leo members, so many families of Leo members there having an incredible time. Now, all of you must have told us about your flights, what time you're arriving, all that stuff, so we can pick you up from the airport and take care of you. If you haven't, it may be too late. I'm not sure, but if you haven't, get in touch anyway, and I'm sure someone will see what they can do. Can't wait to see you there. There's an incredible amount of travel, an incredible amount of events happening in the next sort of month or so, isn't there? It's a big couple of months for Leo, and we're sort of pushing through these barriers onto the next level with the best plan, the best products, and the best company in the world. Morocco in October. Now, this will be the first time that we actually do go to Morocco for the executive trip, and it's somewhere not to miss. I've been to Marrakesh once in my life, and I've been to Casablanca, and it's an incredible country, incredible people. As I say, I was in Uja just a weekend or two ago, and it really is something to experience. The deserts, the buildings, the architecture, the history, the life, the relaxation. I think, in fact, I know part of the Morocco trip involves a hot air balloon over the desert at sunrise. And that's something I've never done that. And that's something I've always wanted to do. And people have talked about it as one of the life-changing experiences, one of the things to do before you die. Slightly morbid thing to think about. But one of the things to do while you live and while you're having a great time is absolutely to take a hot air balloon over the Moroccan desert and see the views, experience that life. And to do it, if you haven't already, if your team members, I see a lot of leaders on this call, so if your team members haven't done this already, get them to go executive by the 30th of June. The digital market service is the product. The digital market service can push their business to the next level, and there is no reason why everyone can't just be smashing through ranks, charging forward with their business every single week from now until they reach executive with those products and with our plan. The digital market service, the gold, the incentives, the compensation plan, there really has been there's never been a better time to be part of this business. And all of you should be expecting every single member of your teams. And if you've not gone to an executive retreat yourself, you should be there anyway. By the 30th of June, make yourself executive and join us in Morocco this October. It's one of the best places to do and one of the best events we will do. So, lots of calls to action. Get yourself to the UK by qualifying during April. It really is something to be at. You'll be visiting my home. You'll be, obviously not my actual house, but you'll be visiting my home country. You'll be hosted by Leo. There'll be so many of us corporate staff here to look after you, to make sure everything's great. We have strong local relationships. We're able to take you to places you could never go by yourself, doing things you could never dream to do, even if you came to the UK as a tourist. It is something not to be missed. And I really want all of you to visit my home country. I really want all of you to come and see me in the country where I live, so I can show you around and spend some time with you and show you where it is that I call home. So don't reject that invitation. Make sure you're there. Recruit someone. Turn them an associate. Even if you haven't started yet, even if you let the whole thing go and you haven't even thought about it before today, you've got enough time. You've got more than enough time to do it, because you've got the products that people want to buy. You've got the products that can turn people associates. Digital market service is tearing our business up. It's pushing all of you forward. It's building all of your guys' businesses all around the world. You know what you're doing. It's a killer product, and it's come right at the right time. Even in the hardest month, one of the hardest months we've ever had in crypto, we've done incredibly well with it. And make sure you get it in April if you want your reward in July. That calendar never stops. That relentless pressure of time never stops. There is always a reason to buy the digital market service right now, because the longer you delay, the longer you wait for your reward. And like all of us in the world, when we bought something, we want the reward as soon as humanly possible. And of course, make sure you are coming to all of the events near you. Istanbul, Asia Pacific, Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire. At the end of this month, on I think the 25th or the 26th of April, I myself will be going to Finland after the Istanbul trip and after the China trip to help build their markets there. If you have contacts there, make sure you're there. I'll be there myself, giving all the latest information about the digital market service, talking about Leo Coin, talking about our business and what we're planning to do next. I can't wait to see you there. Leo is on this incredible trajectory. We've really hit a new stride. All of you are benefiting from it. And the thing to do now is to keep that momentum up, to keep charging forward. Because if you ever let that pressure off, it'll be much, much harder to find again. So keep on pushing, keep on developing. I'm so happy to be able to speak to you on what we call in the UK Easter Monday. I'm so impressed with what all of you are doing all around the world. Thank you very, very much for your time. Thank you very much for joining me. And I hope I see lots of you in Istanbul in just a few days' time. This is Mihir Magudia from St. Albans in his mother's home and his father's home, signing out. Have a lovely day and a lovely week.